You know, it's in pretty much every kitchen across the globe. For centuries, it's been hailed as this amazing food and medicine. But what's really going on inside your body when you make garlic a daily thing? All right, let's get into it and sort out what's real from what's just hype.
So, could one tiny little clove of garlic actually change your health for the better, or could it be causing problems you don't even know about? We're going to look at both sides of this amazing little bulb and really dig into the science behind it all. You see, to really understand garlic's power, you have to start with its chemistry. Because the real magic isn't in the clove just sitting there. It's in what happens the moment you break it open. And that brings us to the superstar of the show, a compound called allicin. This stuff is what gives garlic that powerful smell, and it's where a ton of the health benefits come from. But, and this is so important, allicin doesn't actually exist in a whole, perfect clove. It's only created when you crush it or chop it, which kicks off this amazing chemical reaction. Now here's the catch you've got to remember. Allicin is incredibly delicate. It breaks down really fast. So if you chop up your garlic and throw it straight into a hot pan, guess what? You're destroying a lot of its power before it even has a chance to work. This is why how you prepare your garlic is everything. And we're definitely going to circle back to that. So when you actually get that prep work right, what can these amazing compounds in garlic do for you? Let's talk about all the good stuff. Honestly, the range of effects is pretty incredible. We're talking about everything from helping your body fight off infections a little better to giving your heart some much-needed support. It can also play a role in keeping your metabolism in check, helping your liver do its cleanup job, and even feeding the good little bugs in your gut. Let's just zoom in for a second on cardiovascular health. This right here really shows you what's going on. Studies have found that eating garlic consistently can lower your total and your LDL, that's the bad cholesterol, by about 10%. Now, it's not going to replace medicine, but as part of a healthy lifestyle, that's a real measurable boost. I absolutely love this quote because it sets our expectations just right. Look, garlic isn't some magic cure. It won't make you invincible. But the evidence does suggest it might lower your chances of catching a cold. Or maybe just help you feel better a little faster. A helpful teammate, that's the perfect way to look at it. Okay, so far, garlic just sounds like a superfood, right? But here's the twist. The very thing that makes it so powerful is also what makes it risky. And this is the part of the story most people just skip over. It is so crucial to understand this part. For some people, and in certain situations, eating garlic every day can actually do more harm than good. So let's get real about the potential downsides. Yeah, we all know about the strong odor. That's the famous one. But the other risks here are way more serious. For one, garlic can be tough to digest for some people, especially those with IBS, causing gas and bloating. And most importantly, it can mess with certain medications and carries a pretty serious bleeding risk. Okay, so this is the absolute key takeaway on the risks. Garlic literally reduces your blood's ability to clot. Now, for some people, that can be a good thing. But it is dangerous if you're already on blood-thinning medications like warfarin or even just aspirin. And doctors will almost always tell you to stop taking garlic supplements about a week before any kind of surgery, just to be safe. All right, so now we know the benefits and we know the risks. So how do we actually use garlic to get all the good stuff without any of the bad? This is where we get practical and turn all this info into action. Remember how we said allicin is super fragile and gets destroyed by heat? Well, this simple little rule is the solution. When you crush or chop your garlic, you kickstart that chemical reaction. By just letting it sit for about 10 minutes, you give that reaction enough time to create the maximum amount of allicin before you introduce it to the heat of your pan. It's that simple. So, which way is better, raw or cooked? Well, it's a bit of a trade-off. Raw garlic is going to give you the biggest punch, the most potent dose, but man, it can be really rough on your stomach. Cooking it makes it much gentler and easier to digest. And even though you lose some of that allicin, you still get a lot of great benefits. It really just comes down to what your own stomach can handle. And what about how much to eat?
With garlic, more is definitely not better. The general consensus is that for most healthy people, about 1 to 2 cloves a day is a safe and effective amount. If you go much beyond that, especially with raw garlic, you're really just increasing your risk for things like heartburn and an upset stomach. Okay, we have covered a lot. The chemistry, the amazing benefits, the serious risks, and the best ways to use it. So let's wrap this all up into one final, clear summary. This little table really captures the whole story perfectly, doesn't it? The main benefit is that it's a great supporter for your body's most important systems. But the number one risk, that blood-thinning effect, is something you have to respect. To get the most from it, use that 10-minute rule and just stick to a moderate dose.
And you know, this is probably the most important thing to remember. Garlic should be seen as just one piece of a healthy lifestyle puzzle, right alongside a good diet, exercise, and getting enough sleep. It's a fantastic tool to have in your toolbox, but it's not a replacement for everything else.
So, we come all the way back to our first question, and the answer is pretty clear, right? Garlic's role in your kitchen isn't really up to the garlic, it's up to you and what you know. It could be an incredibly powerful tool, or it could be a potential problem. And now, you know exactly how to tell the difference.
If you found this video helpful, please like it, share it with a friend who might need it, and subscribe to HealthPulse Hub for more simple health tips.